I think all of this, kind of in conclusion, I think that to just ask you guys to be frank, how far are you willing to go? How far are you willing to go to be uncomfortable? How far are you willing to go to break barriers? How far are you willing to go to break out of your shell? Step out of the scope of what you once knew. How far are you willing to go? Are you ready to be all in? After hearing my story, and I mean, I gave y'all a summary, but how far are you willing to go? Because what you're asking God for, you know, it requires a measure of commitment that not even you're prepared for. And you're the one that's called to do it. And it's very tough. It's very, very tough to accept what he's given you. It's very, very tough. It's very hard. It's very difficult. And as far as I'm concerned, you have to just be in a place to commit. You have to commit. Most importantly, you have to be obedient. People think that, going back to what I said at the beginning, oh, that you need the money, you need the this, you need the resources. No, you need obedience. God is looking for your obedience. He's looking for you. That yes is just a snippet of the obedience. It's just a snippet. That obedience is you actually doing the work, even if you don't even know the outcome, even if it doesn't come out the way that you want it to come out, you know? Um, and I think that's really important for people to understand, because fear is going to happen. And it can be very, very painful. It can be challenging. It can be so painful. Fear will tell you, that you shouldn't do it. You're going to get embarrassed. You're going to lose your credibility. You're going to lose money and etc. And, that's exactly what happens when you're in the seed stage of something. That's when the enemy will give you intrusive thoughts. You know, think what you want, but know that those thoughts that you're thinking against yourself, you're dwelling in that. You've made that your house and your firm foundation. And some of us believe those thoughts so hard that we start to say it out of our mouths. And words are very, very powerful. So, what I've been doing for months, I would say for a year is every, I have an alarm clock. My husband laughs at it all the time and my sister. I have an alarm clock at midnight and the alarm clock says, hallelujah, we got the deal, the endorsement and the contract. And I say that every day at midnight when that alarm goes off because words are powerful. And when I say this thing, it used to scare me when I first said this a year ago. But now it just rolls off the tongue. We got the brand endorsement, we got the contract, we got the deal, we got the brand, whatever, we got it. And I don't know how we're gonna get it, and I'm not really concerned with the details. Please believe I'm not concerned with the details. Because if I got this far, oh, the possibilities, you know. Um, but there's a measure. There's a measure of commitment you have to the assignment. See, what we need to understand is that when we're doing something like this, it's a responsibility. It's a commitment that we've given God to take the responsibility to go and pursue our purpose, you know, and it's not really for us because somebody somewhere is praying for you to be their answer. This video, I don't know, somebody could be actually praying for an answer to make the next step or take the next stride. I don't know, but um, I made it my business to still commit to it, even if I was nervous as hell to do it. So that's my thing. You know, don't make yourself so conservative that you start to alter because it can alter your ambition. You know, um, you gotta want it to get it. You gotta want it to get it. Don't make yourself too corporate. Because that was me at one point. I make myself too corporate. If it's not in this order, if it's not in this way, we can't pursue it right now. You know, um, we have to stop thinking about what you have and start thinking about what you want. And some people will say, well, focus on what you got now, what you got now. Yes. But also don't, a lot of times, some of us are focusing on what we have because it doesn't look like enough. And so when we focus on what we have because it doesn't look like enough, now we have now conditioned and told ourselves and drawn the conclusion that we can't do it, that we're not able to do it. And so because truth be told, you know, which I understand, I've been there, in certain seasons, we just don't have the resources to do what we're called to do. But, you know, if we're just walking by faith, I don't think faith, I personally don't believe that faith comes with you needing to have the money and resources, you know, or the people, just know that the resources are going to come gradually. I am a pure witness to it, a pure witness to it. Um, you have to, I think a lot of us don't have much. So it kills us to start, and we don't have the desire to grab what we want because we're looking at the right now. So, for those of us that do have it, because I've heard this from even people that I love and care about, that they do have it, but they still don't want to do it because they just don't want to. So what I realized too, hearing that, is that it's not even about money. It's not about money. It's not about resources. It's just that some people just don't have the will to. Some people don't really have the will. Um, I think it's time that we start building our faith now because we get to learn more and more about who we are and what we are called to do. I say this to say too, if you're going to use words, if you're going to dwell in your words, make sure it's in agreement with heaven. Make sure it's in agreement with heaven. Because what I'm not going to be telling myself is that I can't, it's impossible, knowing that his word says I can do all things through Christ. And I'm just not going to be saying things that are blasphemous when he thinks highly of me because I'm his. And you're his too. And I think that, you know, the words thing is very, very important, because usually in the seed stage, the beginning stage, and when we're almost at the finish line is when we say the worst things to ourselves, is when we curse ourselves and when we rob ourselves of the opportunity that God has given to us. So you don't have to be perfect. There's a difference between perfect and perfect. Perfect is you seeking perfectionism. You're trying to perfection. You're trying to, make something. I mean, it doesn't have a solid hair on it. And we all know that it's impossible for us to be perfect. We're not perfect people. But to perfect, you are adding finishing touches, you're refining, you are updating, making sure that you have the right things. You know that it's not perfect, but you're like, okay, this is what we need for right now. And you're editing. So if you're just perfecting something before you start something, that's okay too. But know that there's going to come a time where you're going to have to stop trying to perfect. That it's going to take for you to do the work for you to keep perfecting. Like season 1, honestly, I know that I still have some work to do as far as, communication and just writing and so much more. Just the ideas that I'm curating and thinking of. I still have things that I want to do. And so, it's not perfect, and I'm not seeking perfection. I'm just looking to keep perfecting every season. I actually had a viewer tell me that every episode that she's watched, she feels that she's seen the growth from 1 to 6. So that alone makes me feel really, really good, because I don't want people to think that we're over here just seeking perfection. I'm going to say it again, change your environment. Change your environment. Unplug if you have to. Spend some time with yourself, date yourself, love on yourself, invest in yourself, take care of yourself. Make sure that you prioritize God time. Prioritize it. because that's when I think I heard the most, is when I just kind of shut the world out and got in a quiet place and sat with him. And that it was just beautiful. I think changing your environment is very, very important. You know, um, some of us want to be multimillionaires, billionaires, zillionaires, whatever. Some of us want to be financially stable. And yet a lot of people in our environments or in our circles are, one, either not financially stable, they're talking about their dreams, but they're not implementing them. They're talking about being well off, but they have no idea what well off is. And no one is a millionaire in your circles. So why are you talking to other dreamers about something that you're trying to reach? Y'all are just dreaming together. And that probably sounds harsh, but it's the truth. You know, um, I have a childhood friend of mine who is a millionaire, and she took me to a basketball game and just wined and dined me. And I asked her, I said, "So, what is one of your biggest things? What is your biggest take since you have seven figures now? Like you making some M's now?" And so she says, um, "To talk to other millionaires." And I was like, "Oh, do tell." And she was like, "Just learning how to retain it, because it's one thing to get it, but it's to retain it and to make more." And I was very intrigued because a lot of times people will ask people that have that type of money, what how did you get here? What was the story? That was all she had for me. I just talked to other millionaires because I'm here, but how do we not retain it? You know, you can't be saying you want to be a millionaire and you're talking to your other friends that are dreamers. Y'all just dreaming together. I mean, y'all can chew on that and take that for whatever you want it to be. I mean, that's fine. But, when I had that conversation with her, I mean, that made a lot of sense. And I mean, we spoke in depth about that. And I mean, it was a real conversation. And I think that, I just say this to say that change your environment, not because the people are bad people in your circle, but because there's an aim, there's a place that you're trying to go. And those people in your circle may not be the ones to take you there. You're going to have to go out, seek, and connect with people that do fit in that circle that you're trying to gain, and then go forth and conquer. Because you're not going to do that with your current friends, if that is your situation. You know, um, that's just what it is. So please understand that, it's good to have friends, but it's also good to have friends in spaces that are in the places that you're trying to go, for sure. If you are new to YouTube, please be more concerned with being valuable than liked and being fruitful than liked, because you have no idea who's watching you. Like I said previously, you have no idea. The ones the content that you feel like you need to throw away is the very content that you're actually supposed to post. Believe it or not, you're supposed to post that content, and you don't know who needs it. You absolutely have no idea who needs it. Um, like, please use your platform and go steward your gift. Go and steward your gift, and disregard who likes you, because that is very irrelevant in your message. It is so irrelevant. That's just what it is. And I mean, I feel as though we're so focused because social media has given us an audience, um, for people that we know and people that we don't know, that we're trying to please so hard. We're really trying to push the narrative that we are doing great and so much more, when inside of us is we're crushed, we're hurt, and so much more. And we externally we're trying so hard to make people like us, and the people on the outside they don't care. They could care less. They're not concerned because they're also living their own lives and they're going through their own problems and they're stressing their own self. They just don't tell you that, you know. And people on social media only post when they're doing well. They're never going to post a lie. Or I'm sorry, they're never going to post the truth. They may post a lie, but they're never going to post the truth. So please know that.